Uber bosses sort of got to work this league, so I decided to run 100 of each. I'm starting with Uber Cortex, and I decided to run 100 regular Cortex alongside. This is the loot from the 100 regulars. I got 45 gloves, 44 shields. These are worth 0 chaos to me, realistically. If you're running this many, you're not going to be selling these for 2 to 5C. It's not worth the time, and I didn't get any good implicits to, make any of these items worth more than that. I got 8 garbs. In the past, I'd expect much less, and I got 3 bottled faiths. In the past, I'd expect much more. I don't know if the drop rates have changed. I think maybe I've heard that Dying Sun Flask drop rates have changed, so I'm not entirely surprised that maybe the bottle faith drop rates have changed too. The garbs go for around 100 chaos each, around 800 chaos in total. I didn't get any good implicits to make these worth anything more. Bottled faiths are around 11 to 12 divines. In total, it was 7,000 chaos investment, which is actually more investment than the Uber Cortexes. And in the end, I lost 2,000 chaos. It took me around 3 hours 20 minutes to run. There's not really a big ticket item you can hope for to make up that amount except from more bottled faiths. I'd need 2 more bottled faiths to break even. I'd need 4 to make a good amount of profit for the time spent on these maps, and it just didn't happen. 2000 chaos isn't the end of the world if you're doing feared runs though, which I'd imagine most people who are running this are. Onto the Uber Cortex, I got 18 Circle of Ambitions. I'm going to value these at 0 chaos each, and the reason for that is there's not really a market for unidentified ones. I tried selling mine unidentified for cheap, and they didn't sell. There's major RNG involved in identifying them and getting a good combination of modifiers. There's so many modifiers you can get and so little good combinations that in the end it's too RNG to actually price these at a solid price. I did sell 2 of them for a divine each, but again, just for the sake of it, everybody's experience is going to be different with these, so I'm pricing them at 0 chaos. Nebulous, I got 40. Masks of the Tribunal, I got 32, or the opposite, 32 Nebulous, 40 Masks. I think it's the same drop rate. I think I just skewed toward the masks. When you're getting these, you're hoping for a big ticket implicit. That's kind of how you're going to make major money with this. And I did get 2. I got this double damage Nebulous, which I sold for 65 divines, and I got this increased curse effect of your non-auras mask, which I sold for 30 divines. I also got a reliquary key, which I opened. I probably shouldn't have opened it until now, but I opened it. Let's just say the reliquary key is around 3 divines. I got the same amount of hooks in Uber as non-Uber. I'd imagine they're the same drop rate. And the apostate, it's a new item. It's why I started with Uber Cortex. It was introduced in this league, and I dropped 7 off them, which is more than I was expecting. It's 6 divines at a base. Depending on the rolls, you can get much higher. This would be worth 6 divines. This one, which is a good roll, would be worth 9 divines. I priced mines up, and in total they came to around 41 divines. So how much did I make from that? Here's the spreadsheet with the loot added in. You can see I'm not fluffing it up with the max or the nebuluses. Nebuluses do sell for like 20-30c, so realistically I can add a few more divines into this, but I'm not going to. I made 10,300 chaos profit, 85 divines profit from the Uber Cortexes, 12.8 divines an hour. It took around 4 minutes to run. I'll show you an example map in a second. If I didn't get the lucky nebulous drop and the lucky mask drop, I would have lost money just like I did with the regular Cortex. But if you are running a lot of Uber Cortexes, you're doing one of 2 things. You're doing feared invitations, in which case you're not going to be losing money because feared invitations are, one of the best ways to make money in the game, or you're running a lot to the point where you're sort of banking on those big ticket items, so it makes no sense to exclude them from the results. One thing I've got to add is that you'll see there's no rare synthesized bases here. That is because those can no longer drop from Uber Cortex. It's a whack change. I believe they drop in troves from the feared invitations. I'll end up running a few hundred of those as my end league goal. But, there's no chance to get a 6% increased strength implicit ring. There's no chance for anything like that when running Uber Cortex or even regular Cortex, which is a real shame. I might as well just do a quick run so you can see how fast I did it. I averaged it at around 4 minutes for the Uber, I believe. It usually took me 3 minutes, but there was some mods like, you know, minus 80% curse effect, or monsters have 120% more life, or monsters have 80% early resists, which absolutely shattered my build, and it's made me spend 2 minutes longer on those runs. But usually it was around 3 minutes. I just rush to the end, and then when I'm at the end I look at the modifier to see if the map's worth clearing. If the map has something like, you know, synthesized magic monsters drop currency, it might be worth going back. A lot of raw divines drop from just Cortex monsters. I dropped maybe 5, I didn't really include it in the spreadsheet or in the results because it's mainly about showing the drops you can expect. This one doesn't have any of the modifiers that make it take forever to kill, so this is around the speed that I usually completed the map in. It's Splitting Steel Trickster. It's a very strong build, so I didn't really learn the mechanics of this fight. I could just really face tank everything. That being said, I did learn that this fight is much easier when you're up close to everything. I've done it in the past with, you know, like mines and stuff, and just get close to the mobs and you'll be fine. There's also a phase skip at the end if you only kill the, you know, stick figure boss instead of the big bloated one on the last phase. You don't need to kill the bloated one, which is nice because that guy has like triple the amount of HP in comparison.
This one is my own creation.
This build isn't cheap, by the way. It's, you know, Mage Blood and Nemesis, which alone is over 200 divines. It's all the rare items cost like 20 divines. You need an adorned jewel, and each of the blue jewels cost over 10 divines each. So what builds would I recommend to do this if you want to? First of all, I wouldn't recommend to do it unless you're doing feared invitations. But if you really want to hunt for that, this is what I was talking about. You only need to kill this stick figure, not the big, you know, bloated one. But I guess I'm killing him. Oh no, okay, so look, you don't kill him, this guy dies after the bit, so you don't have to waste your time on him. So just target that guy on the last phase. What builds would I recommend for this if you're going to do it? Mines, probably. Splitting Steel Trickster, obviously. Maybe the Juggernaut. I've not tried the Juggernaut version, but I'd imagine it's still really good. Just any boss killer that can live. That's just not going to be worth anything. And yeah, that was it. Wait, how long did that take? Let me check the bottom right. Less than 3 minutes. That's usually what it took, but I averaged it to 4 minutes because some bad map mods, which is complete RNG, would push me sometimes to even 5 minutes in a run. So the average is around 4. Anyway, one last time, this is the loot I got. Here's the spreadsheet. I'll leave this in the description. There's not really much else to be said. Yeah.